اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أطلق الخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل الصلاة وتم تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين علماء عاملين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مخلديهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is our fourth part of our Usuluddin Aqidah lecture series. And what I'll be going over today is the Aqidah chapter, the Creed chapter of the Risala of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd al-Qayrawani. The Risala of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, let me first explain that it was written for children when he was 17 years old. He's known, Imam Ibn Abi Zayd rahimahullah is known as the Little Malik, because he memorized the Quran by 7 years old, and he memorized the Muwatta by 10. He was able to give fatwa by the time he was 15, and his creed is the creed of Imam Malik ibn Anas. But he lived during the time, he was born during the time when the Mujaddid of that time period, was Imam Abu Hassan al-Ashari. So he did learn from some of the students of Imam Abu Hassan al-Ashari, but his method and his principles that he taught and he believed was the principles of Imam Malik. Imam Malik rahimahullah, he had many students, and one of his students was one of the teachers of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, with his chain directly to Imam Malik. So in between him, there was two people between him and Imam Malik rahimahullah. His teacher was Imam Sahnun, which the madhab of Imam Malik is actually formulated off of the Muwatta of Imam Sahnun, which he took the Mudawwana from Abdurrahman ibn al-Qasim, who was a student of Imam Malik as well, but he was a senior student of Imam Malik. And Imam Sahnun, he learned from Imam Abdurrahman ibn al-Qasim, and he learned from Imam Malik directly. And that's the chain that Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qayrawani comes through. The Amul Ahlul Medina, the principles of the people of Ahlul Medina, through the codification of Imam Malik ibn Anas rahimahullah, was that when it relates to creed, when it relates to Aqidah, Imam Malik didn't formulate a book of Aqidah. The principles of the Amal Ahlul Medina is that certain things that's related to creed is to believe in it only, and you can't really act upon it, but it's obligatory to believe in it. Like a number of things that, a number of points that many people argue about today, that you wouldn't find anyone who's from the Maliki school actually arguing about it, trying to stay away from a discussion about certain things. But if they do have a debate or refutation, so to speak, it's based off of the principles of Imam Malik first, and going into Kalam, it will be according to the method of Imam Abu Hassan al-Ashari. that method, which his principles he took from Imam Malik, because one of the principles of Aqidah is that whatever comes to the mind, whatever comes to your mind about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, know that Allah is different from that. That's the general principles, the general basis for understanding about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the Risala, when he put this creed section, the Aqidah section chapter in the Risala, start being the first chapter, it's because during that time it was needed. During the time of Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Ahmed, they didn't formulate any books that have this creed section in it. Even the Muwatta of Imam Malik, it doesn't start off with Iman, the first chapter being Iman, like all of the other Sahih Sitta starts off with Kitabul Iman or Kitabul Tawheed as the first chapter in their Musnads and their Sahihs, right, and their Sunnahs. And the Mudawwana is based off of the Muwatta, but Imam Malik's fatwas and rulings of his position in regards to the questions that was asked to him in the Mudawwana about his student Imam Abdul Rahman ibn Qasim. So the Risala is on the same level, even though it was formulated for children. It's on the same category and status as the later texts that came 400 years after, like Muqtasar Khalil and other texts, intermediate and advanced texts in the method. Generally, all of the primary texts of the Maliki school or the Amala Ahlul Medina is basic Fara'ain, based off of the Hadith of Jibril, alayhi salatu wasalam, that was narrated by the narration from Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu anhu, about Iman, Ihsan, Iman, Islam, and Ihsan. So another position about that Imam Malik takes in regards to creed is that the narration that speaks about certain sifat, like hand and movement and descension and ascension, and the foot in the hellfire, these certain narration of hadith, he understood the hadith, he accepted the hadith, but he rejected them hadith being narrated and transmitted to the common people, because what them hadith do, it causes the common person to go into the kayfiyah, go into the how. When you dove into the kayfiyah, into the how, you make slip ups and you can go into tasbih. Going to liken Allah Ta'ala to his creation. Tasbih, making Allah Ta'ala similar to his creation. You know what I'm saying? That's what going into the how does. The reason why the other reason why he rejected the narration of them hadith is because the modality, the kayfiyah, the how, is inconceivable to the mind of the common people, and only the people of knowledge, Allah Ta'ala give certain people of knowledge the understanding of that, and Allah Ta'ala knows the actual ta'wil. He knows the true meaning, which is understood to be the apparent meaning. What is apparent is not the literal meaning. It's the apparent meaning what Allah Ta'ala intended, and as the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam transmitted in these different sifat. So when you look at the creed section of the Risala of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qayrawani, the way that he formulated the creed is based off of 13 to 20 attributes. But the way that his setup is based off of 30. 10 points that are wajib, and wajib in fiqh is a different meaning than wajib in Aqidah. Wajib in fiqh, it means obligatory. Wajib in Aqidah is necessary, what's necessary to know. And fiqh is what's obligatory to act upon. Because in fiqh, you acting upon what you done learn. So it's different. So it's broken down into 30. 10 points that are wajib to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, necessary. 10 points that are jahiz, permissible, possible to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And 10 points that's mustahil, that's impossible about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright? And the Amal Ahlul Medina, this is generally what is, when you hear the term Amal Ahlul Medina, it's codified as the Maliki method. But the Amal Ahlul Medina existed before Imam Malik. It was already formulated and established. He just codified it. He codified it, and he didn't take any of his, it wasn't formulated on any of his own positions and opinions. It was formulated about what was the practice of the people of Medina, the Fuqaha Sab'ah of the people of Medina who were Tabi'i, and the other top ranking scholars among the Sahaba, their practice. Their practice. The reason why Imam Malik took the Amal Ahlul Medina as a proof and an evidence for certain actions, for certain actions in the deen and rulings in the deen, because Islam was established as an Islamic state in Medina. The Quran was revealed. The second part of the Quran was revealed in Medina. Certain ayats and surahs were revealed in Medina. The Prophet ﷺ was buried in Medina, and there was 10,000 Sahaba that remained in Medina after the Sahaba was satellited out, was sent out. You know what I'm saying? Some went to Basra, some went to Kufa, some went to Shams, some went to China, some went to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? They was all spread out. They was all spread out. So when you look at the Amal Ahlul Medina, is based upon their practice. But at the time when it reached Imam Malik, this is what he understood to be known as the deen. Even though he knew narrations, he knew a lot of narrations, a lot of hadith. You know what I'm saying? But the hadith was judged off of the practice of the Amal Ahlul of the people of Medina. If the people of Medina didn't practice it, he didn't practice it. He didn't practice it. And he taught his students the same manner in which he learned. So alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. I'm gonna begin with the text. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الباب ما تنطق به الألسنة وتعتقده أفئدة من واجب umur diyanati. Because this is the chapter of the obligatory duties, wajibat umur ad-diyati, which includes the duties, includes what resonates from the tongue and what is expressed in the heart to believe. من ذلك إيمان بقلبه ونطق بلسانه. It says from from that which is in the heart, the iman, the faith that is in the heart, that resonate from the tongue. Anna Allah ilahu wahidu la ilaha ghayruhu. Is that the tongue testifies that Allah is single and one deity. And one deity. Wala sharika lahu. And there's none else but him, none equal to him, no partner. Wala nadhira lahu, wala waladahu. That there is none like him and there is no equal to him, and that he has no son, wala walida lahu, and he has no father, wala sahibata lahu, and he has no companion, wala sharika lahu, and no partner. Laysa awwaliyatihi ibtidahu wala akhiriyatihi inqida'u. And that he has no beginning. He has no beginningness and no end. He's beginninglessness. You know what I'm saying? This 2 point expresses one of the 13 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What I just expressed is it touched upon the first 3 of the 13 attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is necessary to know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first one, al-wajibul wujud. Al-wajibul wujud is that Allah is his existence is necessary, and this necessary existence that the mind understands about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the logical proof, the din al-akhiliyah, the dalil al-akhiliyah, the logical proof is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's existence is necessary, and the proof of his existence is the existence of things that he have created besides that he has created. You know, this is a proof of his existence, and that his beginning, he has no beginning nor an end, is that he's before time. He's before time, and he's not in time creation. El-Qadim, he's before time. Beginning, which is beginninglessness, which in regards to the belief about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is beginninglessness. He was before time, and he's al-baqa. He's eternal, continuing after time. He has no end. He's everlasting. He's everlasting. The proof of this, he has no beginning, is that everything that was non-existent came into existence when he created it. This is the meaning of hadath. Hadath is something that was in non-existence before, and then it was brought into existence. That everything that he created is in time, because he, you know what I'm saying, time was created by him. And al-baqa, he's everlasting, or continue eternal after time. And the explanation of what I just read so far is from the first part is from the hadith of Jibril, where when Jibril, he said, call, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Qala anna tu'minuna billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rasulihi wa yawm al-akhiri wa tu'minuna bi qadri wa khairihi wa sharrihi." You know what I'm saying? That the angel Jibril asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Tell me about Iman. What is Iman?" The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Iman is to believe in Allah, in His angels, His books, His messengers, the last day, and to believe in the qadr. The decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is good, the good of it, and the evil of it. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no son, He's not the father of any." The proof of that is Surah Al-Ikhlas. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no beginning, and he has no ending, are from the ayats where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, badi'us samawati wal ardi anni yakunu lahu waladu wa lam takun lahu sahibatu wa khalaqa kulli shay'in wa huwa bi kulli shay'in alim. Says Allah Ta'ala is the originator of the heavens and the earth. How could he have a son when he does not have a companion? And he created all things, and he is of all things knowing. Call Allah Ta'ala wa annahu ta'ala jaddu rabbana ma tukhadha sahibatan wala waladan. And that exalted is the nobleness of our Lord. He has not taken a wife nor a son. He has not taken a wife nor a son. And laysa kamithlihi shay'un wa huwa samiul basir. And there's nothing like unto him, and he is the all hearing and the all seeing. And to continue with this part, لا يبلغ كنا صفاته وصفونا ولا يحط بأمره. بأمره المتفكرون يعتبروا متفكرون بآياته. And that he had, and that the essence, bidatihi, the essence of his attributes is beyond description of his creation, and that the human mind cannot embrace him. Cannot embrace him. And that the learn, he has knowledge from his ayats, and they can only learn from his essence, or embrace a part of his essence, if embrace a part of this understanding, if he allows it. If he allows it. ولا يتفكرون في مائيات ذاته ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو علي العظيم. And that his kursi, his throne, extends over the heavens and the earth. His kursi, which is actually his knowledge, is translated or explained in some tafsir of ayatul kursi. Of ayatul kursi, the tafsir of ayatul kursi as being the footstool, or the place of the 2 feet. Not his 2 feet, but the place of the 2 feet. Meaning that a chair that has an armrest is the place of the arm, or a chair that has a footstool is the place of the feet. And that this is what resides over the heavens. You know what I'm saying? They translate, many translate the kursi as being the chair, or the arsh as being the chair, or the throne, but the kursi is actually his knowledge. This is what what is mentioned in the tafsir of Imam Tabarani, rahmatullahi alayhi, is that he gives the explanation of the kursi as being Allah's knowledge. His knowledge exceeds over the heavens and the earth. And that he is the one who sustains them. He preserves them. He preserves, you know what I'm saying, the throne and the creation. That's why it's things related to his arsh. He's above it in superiority. He's above it in superiority, not direction or place. And as mentioned in the explanation of the Risala pertaining to this part, Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ وَخَرُّوا lahu sujdan. You know what I'm saying? It's related to Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was on the throne and his parents and his brothers came to visit him, that they bowed. And this was the explanation of his dream. The term kursi or arsh is mentioned about 20 times in the Quran, in the sense related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's superiority over it. And also is mentioned in the Quran in another part that's related to the throne of Bilqis. the Arsh of Bilqis, where one of the servants of Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah Ta'ala said that is that inni wajadtu amra'atu tamlikuhum wa utiyat min kulli shay'in walaha arshul azim. Is that indeed I found a woman ruling them, and she has been given all things, and she has a great throne, a mighty throne. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, call in another ayat, call ya ayyuhal ma'la'u ayukum yatini bi arshiha qabla an yatuni muslimin. It says, Suleiman said, O assembly of jinn, which of you will bring me her throne before they come to me in submission? And this and at that point is when the one servant that he had, he brought her his throne. But this, you know what I'm saying, this is the example in reference of the throne being related to the creation and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's throne. The comparison that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not sitting on the throne. He's not above the throne in a direction or in a place. He's not above the throne in a direction or a place. He's over it in status. A'limu khabiru mudabbiru qadiru sami'u basiru alimu kabiru wa annahu fawqa al-arshi majidi bidhatihi wa huwa fi kulli makan bi'ilmihi خلق الإنسان ويعلم ما توسوس به نفسه وهو أقرب إليه من حبل وريد. And that Allah Ta'ala hears the great and the sublime, the all powerful, the able, and the all hearing, and the all seeing. The high and the great, and He, by His glorious essence, is above His throne, and He is in all places has knowledge of all places. But you know what I'm saying, this line right here, wa annahu fawqa al-arshil majidi bidhatihi wa huwa fi kulli makan bi'ilmihi. This ayah these two lines are normally translated as, and He is above His throne by His glorious essence, and He is in all places by His knowledge. This line is very problematic. Reason why is very problematic because there's great debate about this line. You know what I'm saying? This line, وَأَنَّهُ فَوْقَ الْأَرْشِ الْمَاجِدِ بِذَاتِهِ. This first part of the line is mentions, and he is over His throne. With this preposition, fawqa, is used by people who believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in a direction. Now, mind you, the second part of this line, Majidi bi dhatihi, the glorious essence of his glorious essence is what's related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, focal arsh, this preposition is not mentioned anywhere in the Quran in relation to Allah Ta'ala's throne. Everywhere that this is mentioned, this preposition is mentioned in the Quran, is in relation to being superior, or the man being superior, or people being superior. You know what I'm saying? Or being raised to a state or a level of superiority or authority. In the hadith, this preposition is mentioned in relation to Allah's mercy being over his in relation to the throne, as being written over the throne, or with Allah above the throne, over the throne with him, in his status in the book, that his mercy oversees his wrath. Now you look at this preposition. Why did Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qayrawani put this preposition in the Risala? As I said in the beginning, the Risala was formulated for children, for children to learn from it, to learn it as a primary text. So during that time, there was a group of people. During that time, the Shia, a group of Shia, the Fatimids, and the Ubaydiyah that come from the Fatimids, was ruling North Africa at that time. And this is who the people of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'at was debating. So these people, the Ubaydiyah, they believed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was a body and that he was on the earth. That one of their leaders was on the throne on the earth. So this was put in here as refutation against the Shia to children, so children can understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not amongst his creation. He's not a body. He's above that. So this term, this preposition, focal arshil majidi bidatihi. Majidi bidatihi is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's glorious essence. The term bidatihi was used during this time, which is also included in the time of the Salaf Salih. Now, the discussion or debate about this term, bidatihi, the essence, Allah's essence, by his essence, is that some imams like Imam Ibn Hajar Asqalani rahmatullahi alayhi, Imam al-Dhahabi rahmatullahi alayhi, you know what I'm saying? Imam al-Dhahabi said that this term bidatihi, there's no chain of transmission from any of the Salaf Salih that they use this term. There's no chain back to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam even used this term or taught this term. The time frame that Imam al-Dhahabi is talking about, he's talking about among the Sahaba. I mean, from the Sahaba who learned this from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Tabi'i that learned this from the Sahaba, and the Tabi'i that learned it from the Tabi'i. And his explanation, what he's talking about, the Salaf Salih, is that the time frame in regards to if a Tabi'i learned from a Tabi'i, and this is in reference to when you put it in that type of time frame or point in time, you only can stop with Imam Malik and Imam Abu Hanifa and being from the Salaf Salih. After them, their students are not from the Salaf. You know what I'm saying? This is what Imam al-Dhahabi was relating this to. But when you look at the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said that the best of creation, the best of the generation is my generation, and then the generation that comes after me, after that, and the generation that comes after that. The term that was used, what he said in this hadith, is al-qarni. Qarni, it has a number of meanings. Qarni also, it means horns. But in relation to what the Prophet ﷺ is mentioning in this hadith, it means 100 years of being a generation. 100 years. So when you look at the time frame of the Salafi Saleh being 100 years out, the Tabi'i, or the generation after the Prophet ﷺ is 100 years after him, then you would count 100, 200, and 300 all the way to 400 Hijra. So when you look at the Imams, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmed, you know what I'm saying, all of these Imams, Imam Abu Hassan al-Ashri, Imam Abu Mas'ud Maturidi, Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qayrawani, all of these Imams all the way up to 400 Hijra. Because Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, he was born 310 Hijra, after Hijra. So he will be included among the Salafi Saleh. During his time and his students, they used this term, bidatihi, by his essence, by his majidi bidat. They use this term by his essence in relation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his essence is not like the essence of anything else. Alright? And the next line is that people fail to quote this next line, وَهُوَ فِي كُلِّ مَكَانٍ بِعِلْمِهِ. A lot of times, only time you hear people quote that line, and he is in all places by his knowledge, is in relation to Allah Ta'ala having knowledge of every place, or have he has knowledge of all places. You know what I'm saying? His knowledge being in every place, nothing escapes him. Nothing escapes him. Nothing escapes him, and Allah and the Imam, he said, خلق الإنسان ويعلم ما توسوس به نفسه. Is that Allah Ta'ala, he created the man, and he knows what is whispered of temptations are exposed to the soul. As exposed to the soul. وَهُوَ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ وَارِدِ. And that he is close, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is initially close to the mankind, and close to his creatures, close to his creatures, close to وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَاتِ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُوهَا. He is close to his creatures, and nothing nothing happens, not a leaf falls without his knowledge, without him knowing it. Without him knowing it, ولا ولا حب ولا حب في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يبيس إلا في كتاب مبين. And that there's nothing that is planted, no seed that is planted in the darkness of the earth, nor anything fresh or dry, but it is listed and written in the Kitab al-Mubin, in a great book, in a manifested book. Then he says, "Ala al-arsh al-istawa." This line right here, which, you know what I'm saying, which is, I'm not for the sake of following the principles of Imam Malik, which Imam Malik he mentions that the arsh istawa is that it's obligatory to believe in it. It's obligatory to believe in it, and to ask about it is an innovation. And to ask about it is an innovation. The modality of it is inconceivable to the mind. You know, he also said about the arsh istawa is that it is known. It's known to the meaning of it being known is that it was known to the Sahaba, it was known to the Tabi'i, it was known to the Tabi'i. It's in the Quran. It's obligatory to believe in it. I'm not gonna translate it. It's translated as, and he rose above, and Allah Ta'ala rose above his throne. He rose above his throne. This, you know, the literal meaning is what they have come close to in translating it. But for the sake of the principles that Imam Malik set, is that it's obligatory is known, and it's obligatory to believe in it because it's in the Quran. And to ask about it, the modality of it is inconceivable to the mind, the how, the kayfiyah, and to ask about it is an innovation. So if asking about the istawa is an innovation, because a man came to Imam Malik and he asked him, he said, "Kayfa istawa?" How did Allah istawa? So Imam Malik, he became, anxiety overtook him. He was silent, and then he started to sweat. You know, to the point to where it looked like he was developing a fever. And then he replied to the man. He said, "Istawa is known. The modality of it, the how, is inconceivable to the mind. And the ask about it is an innovation." And he had the man thrown out of Medina, not just kicked out of the masjid, but he was thrown out of Medina. The behavior of the people of Ahlul Medina in regards to the people of innovation, when they will come, people of innovation will come into Medina, and they will they will give them no hospitality. They will not return the salam to them. They would be not unruly, but they wouldn't give them any attention, so much so to the point to where they will leave. All of the groups of innovation, no groups of innovation sprung out from Medina. All of the groups of innovation sprung out other places besides Mecca and Medina. That's why I believe that it was wisdom, hikmah, on the part of Imam Ali, Qayrawani wajhu, alayhi salam, to change the headquarters of the Khilafah from Medina to Kufa. it was wisdom in that, to guard the sanctity of the Medina Munawwara, the city of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the place of Hijrah, the abode of Hijrah, to maintain the sanctity of that. To double back with regards to the line innahu fawqa al-arshi majidi bidhatihi, many of the commentators of the Risala in regards to the section on creed, when they mention that line, they only explain that line in regards to the purpose that it was put in the Risala. You know, because the another text that explains Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qayrawani Rahimahullah explains what the Amal of Ahlul Medina is, and how, and the formulation of the principles of the method, the 17 principles of the method of Imam Malik, how it was formulated, is in the book called Kitab al-Jami. And in Kitab al-Jami, it explains about this verse, about these two lines, about this line in particular, why it was there. This does not mean because he placed this there that he believed that Allah Ta'ala was in a direction. He didn't. Imam Ibn Abi Zayd did not believe the Allah Ta'ala to be in a direction or in a place above the throne, or being in any of the directions, because of this term. He places there to explain to children about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they would know what is necessary to know about Allah Ta'ala, that He's not in a direction or in the place. And the proof that I can give, that is from one of the students of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, who refuted Ibn Hams in Andalusia. One of the prominent students of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, from the foremost of his students, Imam Taratushi al-Baji, Meki ibn Abi Talib, he said, for example, he said Imam Ibn Abi Zayd stated clearly that Allah is not literally above. He didn't believe that Allah Ta'ala was literally above, and he stated that clearly. His student said, for example, stated that Allah is high in the sense of His power. He's above in the sense of His power, not higher in respect of what is supposed to be below Him. This is what Imam Ibn Abi Zayd's foremost student, Imam Taratushi al-Baji, Meki ibn Abi Talib, this is who refuted Ibn Hams. You know what I'm saying? This is why the Ibn Hamza Dhuhri method, it died out in that hemisphere in North Africa and in Al-Andalus. It's not totally died out, because it's still some people that know that method, the Dhuhri method of Ibn Hams. So it's not totally died out, but it's not that many people who are practicing that method, that revive that method to the point to where it will be a known, recognized method that hasn't died. In regards to the usul, you know what I'm saying, Imam Malik's usul, what Imam Ibn Abi Zayd mentioned in the Kitab al-Jamia, it says, is relation to narrations of hadith, that someone said to Imam Malik, asked Imam Malik, what about narrations of the hadith? Allah created Adam from on his form, and that Allah will unveil his shank, his shin on the day of resurrection, and that he will put his hands into Jahannam and bring whomever he wills out of it. Imam Malik, like I said earlier, he rejected the strenuously in narrating these hadith. He rejected and forbade anyone from narrating them because of the modality. It causes a person to slip into the modality. His rejecting the people and forbidding anyone from narrating them hadith had nothing to do with the hadith's authenticity of the hadith. It had to do with a person's thinking immediately going to the modality, the how. And once you go into modality, this is what takes you into tashbih. This is what causes you to slip into liking Allah Ta'ala to His creation. In regards to istiwa, al-arsh istiwa, without, if you choose to believe, if you choose to take the position of the Salaf to believe in it, recite it, and full stop, then the way that you understand istiwa is based off of the second and third, or actually the second attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was necessarily to know about Allah ta'ala, that He is Qadim. He is eternally existent before time. And the third attribute, necessary attribute to know about Allah, al-Baqi, that He's eternally, continually after time. This is how you will understand istiwa. Them two necessary attributes refutes the idea of the mind going into believing that Allah is in a place or direction, or that Allah Ta'ala changes, that He ascends and descends. The only thing that is obligatory for us to believe about that coming down in the third of the night, ascending, descending, rising, falling, is that we believe in what is understood related to the term that is used, istiwa. How we understand it is, and the proof and the textual proof of al-Qadim, eternally existent, is the book of Allah. Call Allah Ta'ala, huwa awwalu wal akhiru wa zahiru wa batinu wa huwa bi kulli shay'in alim. Is that Allah Ta'ala is the first and the last and the manifest and the hidden and the knower of all things. Which this is explained in the beginning of the chapter of this chapter of the Risala, that Allah Ta'ala has no beginning and He has no ending. And this is how you understand istiwa. It also confirms that Allah Ta'ala does not change. He has no change. That Allah Ta'ala is at 1 minute not doing something and then doing something. You know, so that Allah Ta'ala is in one place and He goes to another place. Allah Ta'ala does not change. His existence is necessary and he's established in regards to being the creator of all things. And the hadith proof, the proof from the Sunnah, is that Allah was there, and there was Allah existed, and there was nothing existed along with Him. The hadith of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know what I'm saying? Allah existed, and nothing else existed along with Him. So that, you know what I'm saying, this is how you would understand al-arshu istawa without translating it. If you're going to translate it, then, you know what I'm saying, you just leave it like it is, because it's only obligatory to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? And there's countless debates and discussions. You have some scholars that have wrote about this topic, wrote volumes about this topic, giving it tafsir. You know what I'm saying, about this topic, about istiwa. You know what I'm saying? It's only obligatory to believe in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue. وعلى الملك الأحتوى وله أسماء حسنى وصفات أولى. And his dominion, his power extends over all his dominion, all his kingdom, his dominion. Al-Mulk. Ahtawa. And to him, Ahtawa. Walahu asma'ul husna. And to him belongs the most beautiful names, wasifat, and attributes. And wasifatu ulla, and his attributes, sublime attributes. As-sifat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentions about his sifat in relation to his sifat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wallahu asma'u husna فأدعوه بها وذروا الذين يلحدون في أسمائه سيجزون ما كانوا يعملون. It says, and to Allah belongs the best names. So invoke Him by them, and leave those who practice deviation concerning His names. They will be they will be recompensated for what they have been doing. So you know, this, you know, indeed, Allah Ta'ala has the most beautiful names. So call him by these names. Invoke Him. Make dua to Him about in regards to these names. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, "Kul adullaha wa ad'u rahman wa kul ad'u allaha wa ad'u rahman." أهيا ما تعد فله أسماء حسنى. And say, call upon Allah, call upon the most merciful, whichever name you call upon Allah To him belongs the most beautiful names. Allahu la ilaha illahu lahu asma'ul husna. And Allah, there is no deity except him. To him belong the best names. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, Hu Allahu khaliqul barri musaru lahu asma'ul husna yusabbahu lahu ma fi samawati wal ard wa huwa azizul hakim. And Allah Ta'ala says, He is Allah, the creator, the inventor, the fashioner. To him belong the best names. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth is exalting him, praising him, and he is the exalted in might, the wise. So, inshallah ta'ala, I will continue. And you know what I'm saying, in relation to Allah's sifat, that this is what's obligatory to believe about Allah Ta'ala's names, attributes, sifat, to believe in them. The only action that we give in regards to these names and attributes is that we call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by these names and attributes. And that Allah Ta'ala, He answers all du'as. He answers all du'as. So we, you know what I'm saying, these names are the best names. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers these. He answers the supplication that is made through these names. This is the manner which is called Ismu Azam. Ismu Azam is the greatest names, the best names. But the greatest name of all of the names and attributes is Allah. Allah is the greatest name. This is the Ismu Azam. And that, you know what I'm saying, even though this is not a part of the text, but the siru, the secrets, is subjected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he is the one who gives him servant the secrets that are related to him, for the servant to safeguard them secrets. So this is what Allah Ta'ala having the most beautiful names. Allah Himself is the best name. His name is the best name, Allah. That's why when you look at the 99 names, many don't include Allah as being part of the 99 names. But Allah is a part of the 99 names. It's the best name. The next section, the next section is still in relation to the attributes and names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Imam, he said, Lam yazal bi jami'i sifatihi wa asma'ihi ta'ala an takuna sifatuhu majlukatan wa asma'uhu muhdathata. And that the Sheikh, he said, Imam Ibn Abi Zayd said, Allah, He is always with all of His attributes and His names. He is too high for His attributes to be created and His names to be invented. And this is where the Sheikh, the Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, he's reiterating about the seriousness of how we have to know and believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how we understand Allah Ta'ala's names and attributes and essences. Because the istiwa is part of is from his sifat, his essence. You know what I'm saying? His attributes. Other attributes that you hear discussions about, that it's only obligatory to believe in them as related to the top will that Allah Ta'ala knows. You know what I'm saying? Given that Allah Ta'ala knows the explanation and the meaning of these sifat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about wajh, yad, ayn, qadam. You know what I'm saying? These attributes. You know what I'm saying? Which they literally translate into being face, hand, feet, shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Shin. But when we're talking about Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, we don't use these literal translations, because these literal translations are not the apparent meaning of these attributes, of these sifat, wajh, yad, ayn, shawh, qadr. These are not the apparent meaning. You know what I mean? These meanings, the literal meanings, are only used in relation and in relation of description of the created things, of what is created, not Allah. When you're talking about Allah, if you're going to translate these attributes, wajh, yad, you translate them with a definition or meaning that is befitting for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because the understanding is that you just believe in them. This is the usul of Imam Malik. You believe in them. You don't go into the explanation and the ta'wil. You in this regard, you use tafweed. So if you're gonna stay true to tafweed, recite them at full stop, and leave the meaning and definition to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, then you don't use these translations. If you're gonna translate them, you translate them to what is befitting to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because these attributes have multiple meanings. When you deal with something that has multiple meanings, you can error easily. So to stay true to the Salaf, the position of the Salaf, they did tafweed, which tafweed is resorting what is meant, the apparent meaning, to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. The know and understand what Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala mean, what it means with Him, what meaning that He gives. Don't fall victim to a person translating these attributes and saying that, and trying to pull the wool over your eyes, saying that these are the apparent meanings. No, they are not the apparent meanings. The apparent meaning is what Allah Ta'ala intended. These meanings, what you give, is a literal definition, a literal translation. So stay away from that. People who do that, they will accuse you and make a claim that you're distorting the meaning of this word or these phrases or these attributes. When you choose to don't give it a definition and just confirm that this is what Allah Ta'ala says in His book, because it's in the Quran. This is what He says in His book. Khalas. You're not in error of what people may claim that you fall into error about in relation to these attributes. People like to argue about yad and wajh, and they say stuff like Allah has a hand, or Allah has a face. You know what I'm saying? Which to the person who's not educated and the layperson, to the layperson and the uneducated person, the person who always takes a literal understanding, they're gonna be guilty of making tashbih, likening Allah Ta'ala to His creation, because of this literal meaning. You know what I'm saying? Because of this literal meaning. It is not befitting for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to be attributed for yet to be attributed or and translated as hand. It's not befitting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have a limb, to be a body, to have an organ, to have body parts, to be in a place, to be in a direction, to have movement, to have stillness. All of these are related to change, and Allah Ta'ala does not change. The Sheikh, he says, and I'm going to stop here. What time? Let me see. Yes. The Imam after this line, these lines, I'm gonna stop here and continue with tomorrow, with the rest of it tomorrow, and complete the chapter tomorrow. He says, Kalama Musa bikalamihi ladhi huwa sifatu dhatihi la khalqu min khalqihi وتجلى للجبال فصار ذكا من جلاله وأن قرآن كلام الله ليس بمخلوق فيبي ذا ولا صفات للمخلوق فينفذ. What the Sheikh says, the Sheikh says, Imam Ibn Abi Zayd, he says, Allah Ta'ala, he spoke to Musa with his word. He spoke to Musa with his word, which is his Allah talking about his speech. You know what I'm saying? It's mutakallim, his speech, which is mutakallim is an attribute, which is an attribute of his essence, and not an object of his creation. Allah the Exalted, his attribute of speech is pre-eternal. Pre-eternal. His word, which he makes audible to anyone he wants of his creation, of his creatures. Musa alayhi salam heard on his part without any intermediary. This is what is meant by that what another definition or mention of bidatihi, which was dhatihi. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that it mean, you know what I'm saying, is used in his essence, but meaning that there was no intermediary. Bidatihi, there was no, that Allah Ta'ala spoke directly to Musa. There was no intermediary between Allah. He didn't send Angel Jibril to speak to Musa, which, you know what I'm saying, it's an expression. We said that we spoke to Musa, or we sent we sent the army, meaning that, you know what I'm saying, in regards to an intermediary. I sent the army. If I was a ruler, I said I sent my army, or I sent my army to destroy, or I went and destroyed them. You know what I'm saying? But the intermediary is that I sent the army. You know what I'm saying? So in this perspective, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Musa directly. He didn't send an angel, you know what I'm saying, to speak to Musa. He spoke to Musa directly. You know what I'm saying? This is what is meant without intermediary, as the angel Jibril alayhi salam go, you know what I'm saying, goes to the messenger, or the Nabi, or the prophet, as a messenger from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in relation to his speech to Musa directly, Qala ya Musa inni astafaituka ala nasi bi risalati wa bi kalami فخذ ما أتيتك وكن من الشاكرين. As Allah Ta'ala says, O Musa, I have chosen you over the people with my message and my word. أستفيتك على الناس برسالته. You know what I'm saying? With my message will be kalami, and my words to you. So take what I have given you and be among the grateful. And be among the grateful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا كَانَ لِبَشَرِ أَن يُكَلَّمَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا وحيا أو من وراء حجاب أو يرسل رسولا فيوحي بإذنه ما يشاءونه إنه على حكيم. It says, and it is not for any human being that Allah should speak to him except by revelation, or from behind a partition, or that he sends a messenger to reveal by his permission what he wills. Indeed, he is the most high and wise. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Tilka rusulu fadalna ba'dahum ala ba'din منهم من كلم الله ورفع بعدهم درجات. It says those messengers, some of them we caused to exceed others. Among them were those to whom Allah spoke, and He raised some of them in degrees. And He raised some of them in degrees. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَرُسُولَ قَدْ قَصَصْنَاهُمْ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَرَسُولَهُمْ نَقْصُصْهُمْ عَلَيْكَ وَكَلَمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. And we sent messengers about whom we have related their stories, their qasas, to you before, and messengers about whom we have not related to you, and stories about prophets we have not related to you, messages we have not related to you. And Allah spoke to Musa with direct speech. Man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He spoke to Musa. He his speech was not with a sound. It was not with a voice. You know what I'm saying? He spoke directly to Musa. You know what I'm saying? That Musa got instructions directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, directly, not through an angel, not through the angel Jibril. And this is one of the things. This is what we have to believe. What is necessary to believe in regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech. In regards to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech. And alhamdulillah, subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin wassalatu wassalam ala rasulil kareem. Ameen. I'm going to end this portion today, and tomorrow when I do the remainder of the text of this chapter, tomorrow is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to start at 1:30 like I did today, and now I'm going to continue. I'm going to break to perform Salat al-Asr, and then I'm going to come back after I pray Salat al-Asr, and I'm going to finish the text up until Maghrib, inshallah. So, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.